This is a short story that happened to me a few years ago. I like to think of it as a short personal Zen koan that happened to me and has shaped my thoughts, my perception of the world around me quite strongly. It was influential. And at first, I'd like to say that I'm more on the ascetic side. That means I don't consider too much drinking or eating or partying or having lots of sex as the most important things in my life. I of course enjoy them, but I don't think that all of this is so important. And from this situation stems also my story. So I was in a supermarket. It was in the evening. My job was done. My work was done. And I was buying some groceries. I was standing in the checkout lane. And there it was, a small bar of chocolate on a shelf. On my left side, the people who put these things on the shelves, of course, know where they have to put them. They know that a small bar of chocolate is probably very good sold at the checkout lane, since there you will be waiting for a minute or two, and when you are looking for a minute or two at a bar of chocolate, of course, that's a big temptation. And I was in the same situation. I was looking at this bar of chocolate, and of course everything in me was screaming, take it, sugar, I want chocolate. I stood there for a moment, and then suddenly came one of the most dreadful, to me at least, the most dreadful thoughts that I ever had in my life. It was like a small revelation. It was just a quick, simple thought. And when I looked at this bar of chocolate, I thought, this is never going to end. And that was it. This was a situation, a realization that it does not matter if I really buy this chocolate or not. Even if I buy it and then I buy it again and the next day and in a week or a month, or I buy it every day. No matter what I do, this need, this desire will never be truly filled. It is not about the chocolate. It is about a hole, an endless well, an endless black hole of desires that cannot ever be filled, either with chocolate or perhaps food, drink, maybe cigarettes, maybe sex for some, maybe for some money. It is not about the chocolate. It is about desires themselves, or even further. It is about the human condition itself, which is, in this sense, pretty bleak. The human body is thus, well, a pain in many, many ways. It is an endless well of desires and endless hole of needs that cannot ever be truly filled. Just ask yourself, how many bars of chocolate have you eaten your entire life? And has this need ever stopped? How much alcohol have you drunk? How many other things have you put inside your body? And, well, these needs were never truly satisfied, since they're probably still with you. And of course, the same can also be said with the needs of the mind. The mind is in the same way an endless well of needs and personal desires. A desire to be loved, the desire to be accepted, to be seen, to be heard, or maybe something else. In the same way, no matter how many times we fulfill these desires, they will never end. The black hole will never end. The black hole will never be filled. And it will continue to haunt us and, well, trouble us no matter what we do, whether we choose to fill it or not. In this sense, as I said, our bodies, in a sense, are made to suffer. For food, of course, we don't have any choice. We have to eat. Otherwise, we die. So, basically, we are stuck in a hopeless situation. We must keep our bodies alive, of course. They have their needs that must be fulfilled in order for us to live. But on the other hand, they carry the burden of desires. So in this sense, I realized that the situation is hopeless and, well, I guess each and every person must decide whether he will do anything about this at all, whether he will just continue eating, drinking, fulfilling his needs until his last breath. You can, of course, easily imagine yourself that if you do not fight this need, this desire for, perhaps for sugar, for this bar of chocolate, you can easily imagine that it will be with you for your entire life. Perhaps you will desire chocolate even at the time when you will be about to die on your deathbed. I don't know if there are people that are content with this image. Well, okay. I must say for myself that I am not. So I chose, I guess, a middle path. More of an ascetic path. A way with which you try to fulfill some of these needs, but still keep a lot of them at bay as much as possible. Not to completely ignore them, but to not give in also into each and every one of them, like an animal just serving its instincts. This is, in my opinion, the one and only true thing that really makes us human. We are able, with our minds and intellects, to go against our own desires, to not fulfill them. An animal, as much as I know, cannot do that. When an animal instinct kicks in, well, that's it. It just runs, eats, tears apart, whatever it does. It won't stop. But a human being can do it. And in my opinion, this is truly what makes us human beings unique. And, well, I guess, for me at least, very interesting creatures that deserve much more than just scorn, but also, in my opinion, admiration. So, this was my small personal story of my path, I guess, to asceticism. I hope you have found it interesting, and thank you for listening.